I fooled you, didn't I? I fooled you, didn't I? Mm-hmm. Uh, did you have faith? Hmm. Okay. Well, I did. I did. Because for whatever reason, it wasn't coming along in a orderly manner. So I had to make adjustments, but I knew I was coming on. All right. So I got you. I got you if you didn't have it, but I understand. Trust me. I listen. I do that with AJ Hardy, Jay Macklin. Sometimes what? Technology. I ain't even combed my hair yet, right? But that's all fine and good. Why? Because our creator allowed us to be touched with the gift of life this morning. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, that boo boo did. Yes, my God did. And I'm so happy, grateful. I want to give him the honor, the praise, the glory, the hallelujah, the worship, and most importantly, the acknowledgement. So, whether I'm early or late or on time, I serve an on time God. Yes, I do. And so do you, whether you know it or not. So, welcome to the Free to Hope conversation with Edwina B. That's me, y'all. Miss Cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. Let's take a drink to that. So, I have some information for you this day. So, while I at least comb my hair just a little bit, ooh, y'all remember those? For those who got this kind of hair, those kinks and kitchens in the back. Listen, I told y'all I'm transparent. So, bam, that's done. I take a little brush here, I am going to the barber shop this morning to get some of this stuff down. Because, truth be told, I don't like hair. I don't. It takes too much time. You got to go to this, you got to do that, and man, listen, I got better things to do with my time than to worry about my hair, my makeup, getting nails done, all of that. Well, I just can't. I be me, just authentic and transparent. It's more freeing, and it takes less time, and I get to be here with you more. All right, so let's get started with our conversation for today. So, how was your day yesterday? How you been? What you been doing? Have you been enjoying these conversations? I hope you have been. Guess what? Some people stop me every day on the job in my 12-step program and the supermarket and say, I watched you this morning. Girl, you are so crazy. Edwina, why you in there without no teeth? Edwina this, Edwina that. You know what I said? You're watching. Listen, if we can get beyond the messenger and listen to the message, you didn't turn me off, right? Obviously, I didn't turn you off and you kept watching. So that's the point. Thank God for spiritual principles, tools, and resources that I've been using for over 34 plus years so that I can let you know that I have been set free from recovery. I have emerged empowered for the purpose, the sole purpose of giving hope to others, help others prosper equally. Am I helping you? Am I giving hope to you? At least one person? Yes, I know at least one person. I hope it's you. And if it's not, that's none of my business. But I'm going to do what I've been called to do is to provide information from the spiritual principles, tools, and resources that I have used and apply them to all earthly matters. So today's topic is a turning point. So let me take another drink before we dive into that. All right. Just let me take another drink, a coffee. All right. One of the things that I recognize in my journey, there have been several turning points in my life. Some that I am aware of, and some that I wasn't, just by the nature of human development, if you will. Okay. And so when I think about a turning point, I think about the turning point that allowed me to be sitting here before you this day, and in one way, shape, form, or fashion over the past 34 plus years. And so I am always looking for the opportunities to have turning points in my life that are spiritual in nature, meaning I no longer wish to feed the flesh as much as I've done and am able to do if I choose to, but I choose to feed the spirit and, to be exact, the fruit of the spirit. And so that turning point that set the stage for me to be sitting here before you and sharing my experience, my strength, and my hope with you by utilizing these spiritual tools, resources, and principles, I get an opportunity to be blessed because I'm blessing others. And I thank God for blessing me. All right. So let's get to our topic today, which is a turning point. All right. So before I do that, you see my arm, right? I had to put the brace back on because I've been cheating. I've been cheating a little bit. Yes, I have. Now, not cheating to the point where I'm causing harm. I've been cheating by taking it off, but maintaining the position to do certain things within reason. Meaning, while I'm at my desk, and like right here, I'm at my high table in the kitchen. So if I put my arm on this table and leave it there, then I can, take this off. Now, the benefit of me taking it off is that I can utilize my fingers to type. So that is the major reason why I've been cheating, because I've been having some assignments that I need to do and I need to type. So my fingers are functional and I just need to make sure my arm is uh, secure and what it's supposed to do, right? And that is to keep this shoulder from going that way, this way, and that way. So I've been doing that, all right? But like I told you, I tell myself, I don't care. But I have also been cheating. Truth be told, I'm not supposed to be driving. I mean, no, it's okay. I'm not supposed to be driving, right? Because of the possibilities of what can happen. And so I have been cheating. Now, I have been listening to what people have been saying, and I know I need to uh, be obedient. So I'm going to practice being more obedient when it comes to not driving. Did you hear the word try? And so, with being set free and having these spiritual tools, resources, and principles, I get to evaluate myself, my actions, my thoughts, my behaviors. Okay. And I try not to justify or rationalize my action, thoughts, behaviors, because it is what it is and it shouldn't be what it shouldn't be, right? And so that's why I love coming before you and going to my AA meeting and being transparent and authentic, because it's just so freeing. All right. So that's enough of that. All right. So let's get to the topic of the day. All right. So you see the title is called A Turning Point. So let's see what the reading talks about today. these last couple of days have been very well, you know what, every day that I bring forth to you information based on the spiritual tools, resources, and principles that I've been using. I bring to you the 12 step AA spiritual information within a spiritual fellowship, and I include my other spiritual tools, right? My journaling. As a matter of fact, someone asked to purchase a book yesterday because they saw it on my podcast, right? And the journal I kept was the first 4 years of my recovery, and then of course the Bible, where the 12 steps came from the scriptures. Um, the spiritual revival hour. I got some news coming up about that with the late Dr. Benjamin Twimby Brown, working alongside of my operations director, Don Thomas. The five agreements by the Uwees family, the church affiliation of my choice, Canaan Baptist Church, the agreements by the Uwees family, and transformational teachings by Dr. Sonia. All right. So this is what I want to be able to share with you while I am still alive and willing to be of service to my God. Okay, so let's take that out and let's expand this so we can read what it says. Okay, it says here, July the 11th, a turning point. And the co founder takes a quote from page 75 of the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, and it reads, a great turning point in our lives came when we sought for humility as something we really wanted rather than as something we must have. Mm. And the person in recovery shares his experience by saying, wait a minute now, by saying, either the AA way of life becomes one of joy or I return to the darkness and despair of alcoholism. Joy comes to me when my attitude concerning God and humility turns to one of desire rather than a burden. The darkness in my life changes to radiant light when I arrive at the realization that being truthful and honest and dealing with my inventory results in my life being filled with serenity, freedom, and joy. Woo, woo. Trust in my higher power deepens, and the flush of gratitude spreads through my being. I am convinced that being humble is being truthful and honest in dealing with myself and God. It is then that humility is something I really want rather than being something I must have. Oh my goodness, my goodness. Are y'all ready to dive into this? You see how excited I get when I read with my heart, with my spirit, and not with my flesh and my distorted thinking. How excited I get when I can spiritually relate to what's being said, and I get excited. Why? Because I now listen with my spiritual ear, and I now look with my spiritual eyes. Whereas before I listened with my humanist ear and looked at life with my humanist eyes. Now, if that's grammatically right or wrong, who cares, right? You got my drift, right? Okay, so let's dive into this, okay? All right, let's dive into this. The first thing that our co-founder says, he says, a great starting point in our lives came when we sought for humility as something we really wanted rather than as something we must have. Okay. Now, do you have humility? I'm talking to you. How much humility do you have? Do you even know what humility is? I didn't. Not in the definition, but in the action, I could relate, right? And this is what I mean by utilizing these 12 spiritual principles, tools, and resources to help unravel things that I didn't understand from a spiritual nature, but only from a human nature, right? And so that's why I've learned when I apply these spiritual tools to all earthly matters, I gain a greater understanding. So, humility. Now, this is who I am. In my early recovery, they would say this and they would say that, and then one person said, "Edwina, let's compare something in your past to help you understand what they're saying." So I said, "Okay." So when they talked about humility, right? They said, "Well, when was there a time when you said this or did that because of something you wanted or that you have to have or whatever?" So I said, "Okay, humility." Okay, I got an example. When my mother would share the food among her 6 children, right? I had the opportunity to say, Mommy, can I have some more?" That's humility. "Mommy, can I have some more? I'm still hungry." That's humility. Another example. When my dad would abuse my mom, and for years I felt guilt about not being able to help her. And so humility for me was wanting to sit down and talk with my daddy and say, and said, "Daddy, what happened to you to make you act a certain way? Hmm? What happened that, you know?" So I'm practicing humility and asking my dad what happened to him to cause him to do something, right? So let me go even a little further. This is a couple examples. Doing my people pleasing when it was high in action, I would say certain things like, "Can I play with you?" Or, "Can you play with me?" That's humility. You're asking. I'm asking. "Can I play with you? Can you play with me?" I humbly ask, right? Let's take it a little further. During my addiction. When the drug dealer or the bartender, he was kind of reluctant. They were kind of reluctant, right? And I would say, "Could I please have this, or could I please have that?" Now, that's humility with manipulation. But humility was I wasn't afraid to ask, and manipulation was if I act that certain way, they'll give me, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by being true to yourself, being honest with yourself, right? So when they talk about that statement, right, a great turning point in our lives came, y'all saw that? Came when we sought for humility as something we really wanted rather than as something we need something that we must have. See, now those on Facebook, y'all didn't see just what happened. On Instagram, they saw what just happened, right? Now, humility says, okay, I'm talking about humility, and then humiliation want to come in, and I'm ignoring it because these top dentures just fell down, and Instagram may have seen it, but Facebook didn't see it, right? And humility says, I'll just pop these things back in and keep on talking. That's humility. All right, so let's get back to discussion. All right, so then the person in recovery says, he says, either the AA way of life becomes one of joy or I return to the darkness and despair of alcoholism. Ooh, it says either. Either, right? The AA way of life becomes one of joy. Do you think I'm joyous? Do you think I'm joyful? Do you think I'm happy? Do you think I'm optimistic? I'm full of enthusiasm? Yeah. And it's all natural. I ain't got to wear no mask. Don't want to wear no mask. But guess what contributed to my being happy, joyous, and free? The AA way of life that I've been practicing for 34 plus years. So when I compare the darkness and despair that my God delivered me from underneath that parked car 34 years ago, do you think I want to go to hell back there? I'm going to tell you now. Oh, hell to the no. Hell to the no. Right? And so either I get with this AA or I go back to that. Not me. Oh, hell to no, not me. Okay? So I'm proof that utilizing these spiritual principles, tools, and resources will give me this new way of life that's spiritual in nature within my humanness while walking on this earthly journey called life. But applying any and all spiritual principles, tools, and resources to all earthly matters. Yes. So I can maintain peace, tranquility, joy, happiness, right? When I choose to utilize what's available spiritually, okay? Now, so then the guy, he says, right? Let's go back to it, okay? Let's go back. He says, joy comes to me when my attitude concerning God and humility turns to one of desire rather than of burden. Oh, my. Did you hear that? It says here, joy comes to me when my attitude concerning God and humility turns to one of desire rather than of burden. Lord, listen, I tell you, boy, I get so excited about this stuff. I mean, to actually read what's being written and to internalize it to get a better understanding. Let me turn this around. To get a better understanding, right? To get the spiritual message. Did you hear what it said here? It says, joy comes to me when my attitude concerning God and humility turns to one of desire rather than a burden. Let me stop there. Now, many of you know, and I've shared, the God that I was taught was a punishing God. The God that I was taught was a punishing God. The God that I was taught was a punishing God. I had to say it 3 times just in case you didn't hear it the first and second time. So you may have heard it, but I want you to listen. I was taught that God was a punishing God. Edwina, you are ornery. Edwina, you bad girl. Edwina, God gonna get you. Edwina, God don't like that. Edwina, God gonna get you. God gonna. Okay. And even though the seed was planted that God, in my view, my perspective, was a punishing God, I do remember being told without explanations to say my prayers before we eat, to say my prayers on my knees before we go to bed. No explanation. Just do as I tell you to do and say what I tell you to say. So there was the conflict. Who am I praying to? Why am I praying? You said God was a punishing God. Now, okay, what? All right. All right. So, okay. So you got my drift, right? All right. So now, the God that I know now, as a result of my journey in life, and the God that I know now, compared to the one I was taught about, right, is different because of these 12 spiritual principles, the additional tools and resources, and this is the hit. The suggestion that I find a God of my understanding. Oh, yes, of my understanding, right? I'm not talking about religion, which I always associated God with. Then I recognized and learned that religions are man-made, okay? And there are so many religions, right? But guess what? In one way, shape, form, or fashion, they recognize the one God. So that says to me, it must be spiritual and not religion. Okay, thank you for that awareness. All right, so now I can get a better understanding of God from a spiritual point of view and not one from a religious point of view. Even though I have been affiliated with a religion of my choice that has given me a greater and expanded understanding of the God that I now know. Okay? All right. Which is why I'm getting my doctorate in biblical studies. All right? So I can understand about this God who met me, delivered me, prepared me from underneath a parked car. Now you tell me if what? Okay? That was my one and only knee bowing experience. And so when it talks about God and humility, right? Let me put it back up here. He says, right? And humility turns to be one of desire rather than a burden. Okay, so let me dive into that for a second, right? Now, underneath that parked car, getting high with my own stepson, and doing all kind of sexual favors for him. And I transformed under the influence, along with our mental illness, right? We transformed, right? And so we were both in a humiliating state, position, situation, right? He's fiending. I'm underneath a parked car. He wants to administer violence on me. I get under the car to save my life, right? I didn't know whether he was going to kill me after he hit me a couple times, right? I didn't know. So we both were in a humiliating position. Me more so, from my point of view. I was underneath the parked car, not him. And so through that humiliating experience, and I thought I was humiliated, and I was in other ways, shape, forms, and fashions through my whole life, but particularly during my addiction. Being raped, passed around like a bucket. Homeboys say, B, do me and do my boys too. Had I not left Philadelphia and stopped when I did, I could have been giving dogs a blowjob. That's right, I'm saying it because it happens. Yes, it happens. Them drug dealers and whoever else want to make fun of people who have these co-occurring disorders, and they will make us do anything that they feel they want us to do and laugh their behind off. So I know and I've seen what can happen and what humiliation feels like and look like. Anytime I'm crying while administering service as a prostitute, saying, I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to do this no more. And the man said, be shut up and keep doing what you're doing. And you better do it right. Humiliating. Yes, I'm transparent and authentic, and I hope you appreciate it. Because if you have not gone through what I've been going through, and I can help prevent you from going through it, then I suggest you listen. And so underneath that parked car, through that humiliating experience, was my one and only knee-bowing experience where humility came out from the depths of my soul, and I cried out, whoever they say you are, 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 please take me out this life now or show me a better way. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Can you feel me? Through humiliation brings about humility. So you better believe, as a result of God choosing me to stay here, I want to serve him as best and as often as I possibly can. So I desire to please the God that did for me what no other human being could do, not even my own mother. Bless her heart. Oh my God, thank you, Lord. I desire to please my God who did for me what no human being could do, not even myself. So I no longer have the attitude of it being a burden and this. No, I desire, I want my God like I want nothing else in life. Do you hear me? And look how he has prepared me to sit before you just the way I am. So yes, the joy I have in my life is because I desire to be of service to my God who will prepare me to be of service to you. Okay? Let me go on, okay? And so then it says here, right? The darkness in my life changes to radiant light when I arrive at the realization that being truthful and honest and dealing with my inventory results in my life being filled with serenity, freedom, and joy. I told you I am cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. Joyous, happy, free, serenity, tranquility. Oh, my. What a gift just by practicing humility. What a gift. I tell you, y'all need, you listen, but I ain't going to tell you what to do. I suggest that you get a hold of spiritual tools, resources, and principles to apply to your life for the necessary turning point that is awaiting you to deal with my brokenness and being broke. Okay, so I got a few minutes because I do have to go to my meeting. So let me go on again. All right. Where am I at? Okay, so here. And so he continues to say, right? Trust in my higher power deepens in the flush of gratitude spreads through my being. Need I say more? Need I say more? That's why I am transparent and authentic as best as I can possibly be. Right? With myself, with you, and all obviously with God, because he knows and sees all. So I ain't trying to hide or fool nobody. And why do I need to please you, and you? And guess what? Why? There's no why, because I can't. And at this point, I don't want to. I want to please my God. And so, if that means being authentic and transparent every opportunity I get, I will. The truth has set me free. Do you hear me? The truth has set me free. The truth that there's nothing wrong with me. The truth that there were things that happened to me. The truth that there is life after addiction. There is life after mental illness. There is life, an abundant life waiting for me. And all I need to do and all I want to do is apply spiritual tools, resources, and principles to realize that my Creator is the only one who giveth and taketh away. Okay? But as long as I practice humility, guess what? I'm greedy. I want it all right? All right, so, and then it goes on to say, right? Trust in my higher power deepens, okay? And a flush of gratitude spreads through my being. I said that. Now, I am convinced that being humble is being truthful and honest and dealing with myself and God. It is then that humility is something I really want rather than being something I must have. Oh, no. Now, if anybody know me, I ain't afraid to ask nothing. The Ruiz family say, don't make any assumptions. Ask the question. The Ruiz family, the 5 Agreement says, don't take anything personal. That's your opinion. The Ruiz family says, be impeccable with your word. Don't sin against yourself and don't sin against others with your word. So I speak positive to me, myself now, whereas before it was, you can't, you won't, you're stupid, you're fat, you're dark, you're buck teeth. Oh, no. I am a child of God. And I am happy to be blessed with this gift. And I am amazed how when I apply spiritual principles, tools, and resources with humility, how it works in all earthly matters. Oh my God. Listen, the more I get, the more I want. So it's I got to go, y'all. Listen, y'all, I tell you, I just get excited. And so a turning point is the topic today. So as you go through the day, you may turn left, you may turn right? And you may not make any turns. So think about this topic today and think about the turning points in your life. And more importantly, think about what it will take from a spiritual nature, the turning point you need to make in order to practice humility, practice being humble, practice asking God to remove any and all things that prevent me from serving him. Turning points. I'm glad that turning point for me happened through all my life. But the one that changed my life was underneath that parked car. I can laugh and smile about it now, but I was sure crying and hollering out back then. Because the student became ready and the teacher appeared. Once the student became ready and the teacher appeared, the teacher taught me a spiritual way of life. Then the spiritual student became ready, and the spiritual teachers continued to appear. Turning points. All right. If it's God's will that you and I are rejoined tomorrow morning, I'll be here. And if it's God's will that He turn us around and wake us up tomorrow, I hope you will be too. In the meantime, know this: I love you. You love me. We are one big old family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? Ooh, ooh. I love you. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed day. Be kind. Be true. Be honest with yourself. Therefore, you can be kind, true, and honest with others. Because God knows everything and He knows our heart. Be blessed.